Hey guys, we're back to some distance shooting today. My targets are a little bit bigger, but we're at the same distance we were yesterday. Today's June 8th. We're just playing around today. Got my scope zeroed in. Let's see what kind of damage we can do to these targets. How about it? Got some light lead in this one. I'll have to switch over to a heavier pellet. And the wind's not even that bad. I should be hitting these things. Now there's one. I just tinked it. Alright, let's switch over to a heavier pellet. And let's make some noise. Alright. These are called rocket pellets. Got a little BB looking thing at the end of it. They're a little bit heavier and they're pretty accurate. They do some thumping. Let's see what we can do. Well, that was a dry fire you shouldn't do. We're getting zeroed back in, man. I don't know what the problem was. But I was also playing with the windage yesterday before I shot that video. And today I have no wind, so now I'm having to reverse it. So we're slowly working that in. So just making some fine adjustments. Just real small adjustments. That's all you need. finally hitting them, but it's taking a while to get that back in. Wind's picking up a little bit. Not bad enough to, well, I say it now, it starts blowing harder. Alright, we're going to back over to a smaller pellet now that we got it zeroed in again. Let's see what we can do with a smaller pellet. You saw that for yourself. Alright, last 10 rounds shot here. These are, get the name of these pellets, but they almost look like a army shell, a sabot shell, where it splits apart and a little middle prong comes out, but it don't come out, but it's pointed like that. So it's kind of like a sabot charge with a point on it. And I'll have to get the name of the pellet, but I love them, man. They come 400 to a pack, and they're made by Gamo. And they're a lighter grain pellet, but they're real accurate, even at this distance, once you get your scope dialed in. And the ones described before, the rocket pellets, are just that. They're rocket. They're called rocket. And they're more or less, they're made for rodents. They're not necessarily made for competitive shooting. These pellets kind of are, but these are also rodent pellets. Personally, I find if you get your scope dialed in right and you're using rodent pellets, don't matter. These guns are pretty accurate. You really just got to treat them with respect. Make small increment adjustments to your scope once you get it zeroed in. It comes from the factory pretty much zeroed in pretty good, so you don't want to go messing with it right away thinking that it's not zeroed in. Read your instructions, pay attention to what you're reading. Even they got some YouTube videos that'll show you how to zero your scope in. Watch those, and they'll give you a good understanding of how to do it. I mean, they make a cradle and everything. I can show you what I do to zero my scope in, but it's pretty primitive, but it works. I line up towels on both sides of my rifle. I keep it stabilized into the center, and I have one target at one distance and another target at another distance, and I keep hitting those targets and doing small increments, whether it's high or low. Where am I hitting on that target at that distance? Where am I hitting it at that distance? I'm gonna make a demo video of that and show you how I do that. And that's pretty much how I zero my scope in, and it works. And why break it if it works? More or less, it's a simple principle. I was shown that by an old timer on a video I saw. Now he used sandbags, but basically what I'm doing is pretty much the same thing. I'm putting weight on both sides of those towels to keep my gun stabilized. Now here's the key: every time you got to cock your barrel, how do you know you're sitting it right back down in the same spot? Well, there's an adjustment I can show you where you sit that down. You're going to be sitting it down in that same identical spot without using a cradle. What they have for zeroing a scope in, they sell them at Gamo too. You can find them all across online. You can take them to a gun store and they'll zero your scope in for you for a fee. But you can do it yourself. I'm a self-teacher. If I can do it, I know anybody can do it. You know, I have had marksman school training, so with that being said, you know, I do have that experience behind me, but it's really, if you just pay attention to what people are teaching you online and be able to trust these people, because you'll know who to trust and who not to trust. I mean, there's some guys out there just giving really bad information, and that's not good. You know, like I said yesterday, you got to treat these weapons with respect. They are a weapon. They can hurt people. They can hurt animals. And me, I love just the target practice. Just the thumping noise is what I call it. I like to hear them thump. So with that being said, let's finish off this last 10 rounds and be done with this video. How about it? Say that. As you can hear, I'm getting tired. I'm wiped out after 60 shots. But I ain't no spring chicken either. Don't want to be neither. Alright guys, that was it. Now this time I'm going to do a little something different. I'm going to walk up to the targets, and we didn't do that yesterday, just to show you how many times they had been hit, where they've been hit, how close I was to the bullseye, if at all, and we'll just see what we see, and we'll see it together. Sound good to you? I think it sounds pretty good. Let me fix my gun here and get it on safety. I will be cleaning it this time off camera. I'm not going to cotton ball it right now, but I will before I take her back inside, but I'm not going to film all that. Alright guys, let's walk up there and take a look at this. After being on one knee, kind of limping, my foot fell asleep. But yeah, like I was saying guys, this can be so much fun, you know, and it could be a family thing too, man. I mean, you know, you at a certain age, if you're involved with weapons and you need to teach your kids, and honestly, I would have to give them at least the age of 13 and no younger. 13 is pretty young to be starting someone out. Okay, here's the targets as they sit. Let's see, we did decent on that one. Not too bad on that one. We got pretty close to the bullseye on that one several times. As you can see, they've been hit pretty good. Quite a few pellets in there and in there. Well guys, I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm trying to get this channel off the ground, and I really need the subscribers. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm trying to upload as many videos as I can, at least one a day. So if you enjoy these videos, you'll get the notification that I got one posted. Sometimes I make several videos in one day and post all of them. So you'll get 3 or 4 videos that are short in duration, you know, anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, and then videos like these that I'm narrating in. Other ones, you'll see that I'm not narrating. These are the first videos I'm narrating, because like I said, I am trying to get this channel off the ground. I love Gamo products. I think they're one of the best rifles made for your pocketbook that you could actually buy, that's actually made in Italy. And I'll give you the history one day of these guns and why they're called break barrels. And it goes back to World War II. And well, I'll just tell you, in England and let's see, England and where was it? Italy. They were having rodent problems and they couldn't get a hold of gunpowder, so the next best thing was some source of gun that was used no gunpowder but pressure, somehow pressure. Well, I don't remember the developer's name. I'll have to look him up again. But they developed what they call a break barrel, and at about the same time it was also being developed in England, by coincidence, that they were looking for something because they couldn't utilize gunpowder neither. Well, the UK makes some awesome break barrels, and they're affordable too. But Gamo, it's an Italian made rifle. Some are made in Spain. But the principle behind it is we're using nitrogen gas. Now, I can't tell you what they used back then as far as pressure. I'm sure it was some kind of pressurized air as far as the break barrel goes. I don't think they had nitrogen technology back then. They could have. But the research I've done so far is it was an air source that when they broke the barrel, it compressed air into a small orifice, just the same principle as these, and forced the pellet out. And thus they were pretty quiet, but at the same time They were very effective on killing the rodent population, because the rodents were eating the only food they had. They were all in their grain and fields, and they had to get rid of them, or they, because they were literally starving to death to begin with. I mean, things got bad and worse and worse and worse. So they had to come up with an idea, and I think it was a brilliant idea, whoever invented it, being the break barrel. So you can look that up. Hey, actually look at that. There's a pellet stuck in the front of that one. Can I get it? Hold on, I'm too close. Yep, there it is. Funny, didn't go all the way through. All right, guys, I'm calling it a day. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.